Dcroft has won himself hundreds of thousands of dollars by being one of the best Madden players in the world. But this past season, he solidified himself as the best college football 25 player in the entire game. Now, in this video, we're going to break down what it actually looks like to play as the best player in the world. And my guess is that it's a little bit different than what you're expecting. If you watch this video through, you'll find at least one thing you can start applying to your game immediately, which is going to help you start winning more and having more fun. So now, let's get into this breakdown of how Dcroft is the best player in the entire world. Now, this is from the Final Four of a $25,000 cut tournament where he's playing one of the other best players in the world who has a super unique scheme that kind of catches him off guard, but Dcroft finds a way to dominate. Let's talk situation. This is the semifinals. Winner of this is going to go to the championship, obviously. We have Dcroft on offense, Low Balla on defense. We have Dcroft as Texas, Low Balla as OU. And Dcroft, like both these guys, very, very good to be able to get to this point, right? We are in the Final Four of the first ever college football live tournament. A winner of this bad boy gets a cool 10K, all new Nissan kicks, honoring Heisman house key, like some actual cool stuff here. And Dcroft, he's going to play college football in a very more traditional, almost like a Madden Pro sense. We're going to have this bunch offset formation. He's in the Michigan playbook. He also uses in Oregon. And we're going to see here is we're going to have 4 receivers all on one side of the field. So we're really overloading this strong side right here, this left side, with then an ISO on the backside. What you'll see this ISO do, you can actually play games with him. I love situations like this personally, because this guy could be on a drag route at any given point, or he could be on a speed out, or he could be on a deep in. There's a few different options for him that can just like pester the defense throughout the game. Dcroft here, 2nd and 7. He started the game off with a run, and he's actually going to try to go this corner route, but he just pushes it a little bit too far. So if we look at the route combo here, we're going to get a route combo that we've called in competitive Madden and college football double corners, okay? So we got stock fade. This is the play flood out of bunch strong. Stock fade, different than a streak. Streak's going to go more up. Fade's going to break out just a little bit more, and he releases very fast. Then we're going to go short corner route, and we're going to go big corner route. Then we're going to have a backside route. I think he goes backside in, and we're going to go underneath. So if we just look at this, right, we just objectively look at the left side of the field. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 routes all flooding this left side of the field, making it really hard for a zone defense to play this. And you can actually see it right here. Dcroft has R1 open right here. He just pushes it a little bit too far. But immediately, we see Dcroft get going with the good route combos, which is obviously a big deal. Just barely misses it, barely pushes it a little too far. That is one of the things, though, if you ever bounce between Madden and college football, I do think you'll run into some issues with the pass leading, just because it can be a little bit different. Now Dcroft can go to a slightly different play. Still going to be the play called flood, but now he's going to be looking to hit this deep post route. We'll see if he's able to do so. One thing I don't love about Low Balla on defense here, Low Balla has 1, 2, 3 down linemen. Nothing wrong with that. But if we look at the next level, look at this. There's a whole ring of area before you can get to another Sooner on defense. Essentially, the likelihood of there being a blitz that applies any kind of pressure to Dcroft is so low. Now, you don't need a great blitz to play good defense. It does help a ton, but you need some kind of threat of something, right? And right here, like, he gets good sheds, like he actually does, and he's able to get the stop, forcing a big 4th and 7, so good defense. It's just, in my opinion, in my experience of playing and watching and all this stuff, man, to play defense at the highest level, as we get their face cams here, you have to have a threat of a blitz, right? You have to have threat of a pressure, and we just don't see that quite yet from this defense from Low Balla. And again, you know, we don't see any kind of pressure. Right here, actually, decent defense. Let's see this again. You know, he's just going dropping 8. And actually, you know, all things considered, Low Balla, if his user is just a little bit more on point, he could cut this ball off. Instead, though, he's playing a little bit conservative with the user. Dcroft able to pick up that first down. And sometimes that first like completion in a tournament like this is what kind of gets you going. I've always been a very like rhythm player, where I can get very, very hot. Where I feel like I'm calling the best plays and I'm making every read, or I'll go the opposite and I'll be playing really, really bad. And so right there, Dcroft finally hits that ISO drag coming from the backside. And that's something where you'll see, you know, we talk about this in my content a lot here on the channel. If you never watch any of our other videos, consider checking out. We do a lot of tip stuff. And
one of the biggest things I always talk about, man, is you gotta be willing to hit these backside drags. You gotta be willing to hit these backside drags. And right here, Dcroft going back to double corner. So we have deep corner, low corner, fade, boom, boom. Okay. Dcroft keeping things simple. If you have good plays, you don't have to mix, you don't have to be crazy. And right there, going to the corner route, good swat from Lil Balla. And right there's a great use of the switch stick. So Ball on defense doing a good job here. Look where his user is right here. User's on Thornton in the middle of the field. Dcroft is going to see this corner route looks like he's getting open, right? Boom, wide open, maybe even a touchdown. Ball is going to switch stick, I believe, onto this guy and come down and make a play. Great switch stick. That's what the feature's used for. Boom. Good swat as well. And a nice little breakup on 1st and 10. And honestly, all things considered right now, Dcroft isn't playing very well on offense. He's made a couple, like he's had a bad pass lead. He got kind of a forced read here and there. Right there's a tough throw. He's going back to this play, though. Big thing with this is one of my favorite route combos in the game. It's a two-man concept where we go one of our receivers on some kind of flat. So this guy's on a flat right here, and then a halfback wheel on that same side. Now, Dcroft is going to push vertically right here, too. So potential seam streak developing. We'll see how this ends up playing out. And we're going to have that halfback if he wants it. He does. Boom. Halfback's able to get into the end zone. And it's just a tough one to defend, man. Halfback wide side. Got that wheel route going there. It looks like that's either double flat. I mean, a man up. I'm not 100% sure. But the wheel's going to get inside of that guy. And it's just a very tough concept to consistently defend. And you have a good play here when this guy's going vertical for a touchdown. But then you have this drag underneath. You could hit him, cut up. You have a 10-yard gain right there. Really, really tough. Really tough. And that's where a little ball looked like.
And really fast, Dcroft is actually a part of my website, civil.gg, where he breaks down his entire offensive and defensive strategies, along with weekly gameplay updates, talking about just the best things to do on a weekly basis if you want to win more games. Now, right now, you can get 30% off and join over 2,000 active members who are using his schemes and my schemes to win more games, who 98% say they've actually won more since joining. If you click the link in the top description and then use code CIVIL30, you'll unlock everything you need to do to start winning more games today. And now with that being said, let's get back to the video.
You made Dcroft work so far. Genuinely doing a really good job, like very impressive in my opinion. Dcroft, I've just known, the reason I can speak very highly of Dcroft, I've known him since 2019. And obviously, spoiler alert, he wins this tournament too. And he's been one of the best passers in the world since I've known him. And right there, one of his more struggle drives, I think, at least early, a couple questionable things, but ends in a touchdown nonetheless. And here we see me. What's going on? Nick Mazesco, my dog. I love Nick Mazesco. A little technical timeout we had. So Lil Ball is one of those dudes who plays the game very frustrating on offense. Immediately, when do we see Ball in? He's in the gun bunch wide. We've had some content on this channel about this formation. I actually like this formation a good amount. One of the big issues you run into with these wide formations is that it's hard to pass the ball in these. Consistently, it is hard to pass the ball. Big reason for that is because really the main area you got to worry about all three of these guys attacking is inside, right? And so if they're all attacking inside, there's just not one of these guys can't break out on a corner route or something like that. They just, but alignment wise, they can't. And so you're a little bit more limited with this wide formation. With that being said, you get some really cool leverage opportunities on the offensive side of the ball when you're opening up the RPO game, the screen game, and the run game. Okay, Dcroft has a really unique way of attacking this though. Dcroft in the nickel 3-3 mint. And what we're going to see here is usually you would count numbers. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3 wide receivers over here. Dcroft has a DB behind this icon, so 1. And then Dcroft is taking a slot corner, this guy, and moving him in. So usually this guy would be in here. He's moving him inside. And there's a major, major reason for that. We'll see it as this drive goes on a little bit. We're going to see Lil Ball, though, audible over to the slot open. Start off with a little run play. Gets blown up. And that's a big part of Dcroft's defensive game plan. I think this is a big thing for anybody that you point against that hasn't really proven that they're a great passer, especially when they come out in more, gimmicky formations like this, a little bit more gadgety, if you will, is that you got to force them to show they can pass the ball. So we got to stop the run at a high clip and make them pass the ball while not giving up free touchdowns, right? Make them work. That's the number one thing. There, Lil Balla able to hit Dcroft with a little RPO. And that's where it's like, okay, let's see. Dcroft has an idea going into this game what low ball is going to do. Notice that. You see what he just did right there? Let's back this up. Back it up, back it up, back it up. We're going to watch slot corner on the right. Slot corner on the right. He's here. Moves him in. So, you got to think. Let's work this through. If this slot corner was right here, and low ball called an RPO, and I know this is probably right behind my face cam. Can we even see this right now? Yes, we can. Okay. He would go, if he called an RPO, right? Let's say RPO screen. This guy's here. This would get blocked, right? RPO screen's wide open. If this guy's here, though, who can block him? Nobody can. So if there's a screen, this guy's just going to jump the screen and totally defend it. And he's so far inside, he's actually going to do a good job helping set the edge hard against the run game. And he could blitz, he could drop into coverage, all the other stuff. Ball is going to check out of this formation. He's going to go back to the same RPO formation he was just in. And he's going to go back to this RPO. This time, a little bit better RPO defense from Dcroft. He has this outside backer in a hard flat. Right here, just doesn't make... You'd like to see this guy. You'd like to see that play get made. You'd like to see that play get made. Dcroft a little bit annoyed by that. Rightfully so. And we're down to the 45-yard line. Low ball, moving the ball a little bit. And you see that same slot corner moved all the way in. It's just route combo-wise, man, it's tough. It is very, very tough to really attack out of this. And we'll see what he does here as he's going to drop back and pass. Now, this is part of Dcroft's defense we haven't talked about yet. And in 3-3-5 mint is that we have a loop blitz happening here. Okay? So we're going to go contain, rush, loop. This loop, if you struggle to block it, it is going to give you a bad time. Let's watch this looper. Let's go. Snaps it. Boom. Inside. Looper there. Good pocket. Good pocket right there from Lobala. Just nowhere to go. You can't drop back because contains, etc., etc. I will say, you have a lot of routes break into the middle. You do have X breaking open. So, like, he is able to get somebody open on his first actual pass play. Just that pressure gets in, right? Forces a 2nd and 14. Dcroft loves to see that because also, now 2nd and 14, you're probably going to see Lil Balla have to pass again, right? And again, as part of Dcroft's game plan, that's what he wants Balla to be doing. He wants Balla throwing the rock. Let's see what he goes to. He's going to audible over to, what are we doing? Gun wide something. Gun wide something. A little H-back action. Going to run the ball, and the run game just gets totally blown up. And you actually see Dcroft kind of overcommitting here to the run game. Notice what he does. Dcroft's on this high safety, shoots the gap, forces the cut back in. Easy defense, and boom. And that's one of the things where, like, if you don't think someone's a great passer, and again, big picture, Low Balla makes it here. He's one of the best passers in the world. But in these ranks, right, it's like calling an NBA player who's in the league who shoots 30% from three, 33% from three, not a good three-point shooter. Big picture, that guy's one of the best three-point shooters in the world, top 1,000 in the world. In the NBA, 33% from three, not very good shooter, right? And so you're going to play to that strength. You're going to sag off, right? You're going to go under the pick. Here, same idea where Dcroft's like, you know what? I want this guy passing. His run game's decent. I'm going to overcommit. And this is where, man, I like this idea of a route combo. You just can't really, I think it's so tough to do. Dcroft gets that pick. Actually, good pocket from Lil Balla. Kind of break down the fundamental, like he breaks down and gets away from a fundamentally sound route combo. He goes curl route, super deep, right? It's like right here, goes streak behind it. So the deep blue actually is getting pushed all the way back here. So you'd think, oh, well, who's defending this area? Probably nobody, right? Well, this guy's in a flat zone. It's 3rd and 13, is in a flat zone, probably, around 10 yards or so. And guess what? Guess who's attacking this area of the field right here? Nobody. So if nobody's attacking underneath the flat zone, guess what this guy's going to do? He's going to drift up. And then this throw is so far because it's so high and to the sideline, this corner's able to get there. And we can actually watch this in real time. I like the idea of the route combo just not able to get it, right? This actually looks open, right? But look how far of a throw this is. This is all the way across field. This is, 35, 15, 10, so 25 yards just vertically. And then, what will this be, like, this 30 or something? Like that. So it's a 55-yard throw when you start counting across and up. This guy's already drifting back. This is that slot corner we're talking about because he has no one underneath him. the ball's in the air for so long, able to just jump it. Boom. That's a huge stop. And that's showing early, too, the game plan from Dcroft of make ball a pass, right? He doesn't have a great answer for the blitz. Doesn't have a great answer in terms of route combos, it seems like. And very early on, he gets behind the chains on that 1st and 10 that he got sacked on. 2nd and 14 didn't do anything. 3rd and 13 throws a pick. Dcroft in a really good spot now. Good news for Balla is that he's played decent defense, right? Dcroft going back to the same play. And I'm kind of a high-level adjustment. I'm curious if you saw this or not. So Balla, how'd he give up a touchdown last time? Very similar situation. Flat, wheel was a dot touchdown, right? Balla this time is going to actually man up this halfback. A great way to help bracket any receiver that's giving you issues. See that man up? Now, technically, wheels can beat these man ups, but we have help over top. It's a tough way to make a living throwing this wheel. And then we have a QB spy right here. Look what this guy does. He actually does a great job of shuffling with this drag. So genuinely, this play, really good defense from Balla. My issue stays, though. My issue stays is that defensively for Balla, he's not getting any pressure, right? And if you're playing, just think about it in real life. If you're playing a great quarterback, someone who, a great offense, and you're not generating pressure, they might be wrong on a play call, but they're not going to be wrong on the play call 4 times in a row, right? They're not going to misexecute 4 times in a row. And again, notice how much time Dcroft has. Nobody in his vicinity. This corner out's breaking open. Able to throw the dot right here. No pressure, no anything. Kind of a bad throw, and he misses the throw. Balla gets fortunate. Dcroft has had some pass leading issues early in this game. That's at least the 2nd missed throw I've noticed just from that. And again, like you gotta think 3rd and 10, dude. If you had some kind of pressure, something to dial things up, make Dcroft a little bit scared, right? Dcroft gets cheated on 2nd and 10. Then 3rd and 10, you get screamed at, make a mistake. Instead, though, we got no pressure coming here. Dcroft knows he can send 5 out even, right? He sent out all of his receivers every play. Goes corner route again. This time throws a beam. Same exact play. Boom. What Lil Ball is hoping to have happen right there, and I like this adjustment, is that he's getting this guy manned up. I think from this guy. Not 100% sure. Lil Balla is hoping, and it's now from the outside corner. Lil Ball is hoping that this guy is able to bag him in one-on-one man coverage. Just doesn't happen. Now, what's funny is that hindsight, this guy's the one getting manned up right here. If this guy was just in a cloud instead, he'd probably bag that corner route, especially if he switch-sticked it. But he's not. Goes man up instead, which I don't love the man. I actually don't think you should be manning that guy up. I'm just thinking about the route combos that Dcroft has ran. And so if we actually, let's think about this from a defensive, we're making an adjustment standpoint, okay? Let's go through the route combos that we've seen Dcroft call so far. There's 3 different routes at this point in the game. And again, this is hindsight, much easier to be in my spot than on the field. Dcroft ran this play with that fade. He's ran this play with that flat. And then he's now ran this play with that corner route, okay? I think you just leave this guy in an outside third. And then if he runs that corner route again, you switch stick him, come down. If he runs that flat, you let Dcroft throw the flat in 3rd and 10, I think. And you can also have help underneath with the flat route. Interesting. Again, very much hindsight, but just thinking it through. The man-up, I don't know what the man-up's going to really do. Because the man-up's getting cooked by the corner route. He thought that man-up would play the corner route, though, to be fair. But man-up's getting cooked by the corner route. And if that was a flat route, who even cares about having the flat route manned up? You know what I mean? Leave that thing open on 3rd and 10. Let Dcroft play a 4th and short. So we have 1st and 10 right here. Dcroft's going to drop back. And so that's kind of the coverage right there. He does it on the left side this time. Watch Isaiah Bond. Watch Bond, Isaiah. Boom, right? Switch stick to Cooper DeJean. And that's kind of how I would like to see the last play get played. Or play get played. There, Dcroft throws it away. Imagine that would have happened on 4th down. Because those are very similar plays. Not exactly, but very similar. Also worth noting, Dcroft on the conservative ball carrier. That is a big deal. Wants to make sure he does not fumble. And this is Ultimate Team, by the way. I should have mentioned that. Goes duo, one of the best runs in the game. Almost got a big pop right there. 3rd and 3. Here's a big opportunity, though, for Baller. Again, these 3rd shorts, especially this close to the end zone, just very hard to convert. I'm curious what Dcroft ends up going to here. And he's going to check into tray offset, a trips tight end style formation. These are very popular in these short yardage situations, passing wise. And yeah, so this is tough, right? We have flat, flat, in. This is one of those route combos that's popular every single year. If you want a trips route combo, screenshot 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. This is one of the ones like you can take this every year. Every year. Actually had the in route early, missed it. Goes to the slant. Tough throw, able to hold on to it though. And that kind of, you definitely could catch that one. That one could have been dropped, but makes up for a couple of the missed throws Dcroft had, a little couple overthrows he had earlier in this game. That's a big catch though. That's tough for Baller. I thought Dcroft had a way better option with the in route, but nonetheless. Goal line on defense. Dcroft's gonna check into the speed option. And I should think I told him this too. Is he okay? He's going stretch. I think we're gonna see speed option next play. I think the speed option is a scary call in this situation. I think the speed option is such a scary, scary call in this situation. Let's go back. Just because like there's so much that can go wrong in this play. The speed, I feel like they can just be weird sometimes. Able to score walk-in, like easy touchdown. It's just and those speed options are really, really good in these situations too. It's just these are high risk plays. Of plays you can call, high risk. All right, we have a little bit of a different camera format right here, so apologies on that. But Lil Balla, he gets ball at half. Nice run right there. Oh, he gets ball at half, down 14. You're fine right now, all things considered. And I mean, you have gotten Dcroft to a few third downs where he did not look great, a couple questionable balls. Like, you can get a stop. I really do think though, the two things that Balla's got it like from this game, dude. It's like we gotta be able to be more comfortable passing the ball. We have to have more stuff that we can just go to and feel really good about. And then two, if we're gonna run that 3-3 stack, we gotta have some sort of pressure, some threat of pressure, right? Just make Dcroft be like, ooh, is he blitzing? Right? Because you get more things going on in your brain, you're more likely to make mistakes. Again, so we have this bunch wide right here. That slot corner splitting the difference. We'll see if he goes to the RPO ever, if we get to see how this actually plays out. And this is a big opportunity for Dcroft to just put the nail in the coffin too. We're going to see another inside zone. This one, I don't love this run a ton. And mainly the reason for it is that if we just go pure numbers, right, we have safety in the box. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 7. And we're just going inside zone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's like, now, like, even if you're going to read option, you're losing a number right here. So I don't love the inside zone call, especially back to back like this. And you kind of see that where like you just have guys like every offensive lineman's block, and they're actually like doing a good job, but free. And it's just like you just don't like you're not playing the numbers game. A big part of I feel like running these wide formations is actively playing the numbers game. And it's felt like right there, the play before, kind of got away from that. It's just like, all right, interesting. Now 3rd and 2. Let's see. He's gonna stick in the bunch wide. Is this where we go to the RPO? You go motion in. He goes back. So he goes RPO, and there's the really good example of this, right? And he even tries motioning a blocker in to pick up the slot, but watch what the slot does at the snap. And this is why Dcroft is running this style of defense, where at all times, this guy's in a hard flat. Slot corner's in a hard flat. Bang. Boom. Gets him behind the line. And actually, he motioned a blocker in. This guy's blocking, but when he motions, he becomes a hitch. So he's a potential snap throw. Just gets him too close right here, so can't really do it. Something to keep in mind, though. Right? Because let's go here. Bang. And that slot corner just plays it. And that's the whole thing, right? Because that's a big part of when you run these wide formations, that's a big part of it. Especially the wide bunches. You want those RPOs. That right there proves what we've been saying all game. And what Lil Balla probably assumed, too, is that they're just totally shut down. We're going bunch wide side here. This is 4th and 4. And the route combo, I don't love the route combo. Pressure gets picked up. Yeah, throws it. And that's going to get a drop interception. Did he get screamed at right here? It was 4-man pressure. Yeah, D tackle in the middle. You know, I will say this. I will say this. He both times he's called this play, he's had this backside in, like right around there. Like, you kind of see it right there. That would have been hot. Like that would have been hot. Now, I do think it's a hard ball to hit consistently because you start playing that pretty easily if you're Dcroft. But like it's a good like right there, boom, boom. Now though, you know, if you're low baller, you get ball at half. There's that. But you know, you're not in a great spot. And again, dude, like you're not applying any pressure on defense. Nothing weird. There's one time. There's the first blitz. As I said, there's the first blitz. He actually, I don't think this was a blitz either. This guy's manned up to the halfback. Halfback blocks. This guy just blitzes instead. A little like green dog action. My football guys would appreciate that. A little loop. And so there's like that's how though. That's you just have the threat. Have the threat of that. And I don't even think that was planned by Lobala because that man up, I don't think he knew that man up was gonna blitz if he blocked. And that was a good blitz. Like that loop was actually really sexy. Surprisingly sexy. So let's see what happens on 2nd and 15. Right? So you just proved like, hey, here we go. A little speed Dcroft up a little bit. There's a step up though. Really good pocket. And that's just another thing. Like, no, he's able to do whatever he wants. Right? 3-on-5 blocking. You know, this guy's pancaked. This guy's doubled. This guy's kicked outside. Boom. Easy scamper. And that's where it's just like, man, on offense too, you're in this situation. Remain calm. Don't do nothing stupid. And always note, if you're playing offense and you're calling good plays, right? And I'm so big on preaching calling good plays. You will have things open. There's always things open. Even if you look at this from a real life perspective, right? You're a real life football hoops kind of guy. The offense always has a massive advantage. The offense is almost always going to have different things open. The issue that will happen a lot of times is miscommunications, is poor timing on the offensive side of the ball. Quarterback missing a throw, quarterback missing a read, quarterback not getting to that read, quarterback missing it early. Things like that will stop a lot of offenses, or blocking issues, right? All in all, if you watch a lot of pass plays that get totally bagged that result in no yardage, you'll see players break open at different times. And it's just on the defense for applying pressure to the offense in one way or another, changing coverages, actual pressure, whatever it might be, that disrupts a lot of that stuff, right? And I think the same thing applies here as we go to the 2-minute warning. Biggest thing for Dcroft is to go up 3 scores as we go into halftime, and you're sitting in such a good spot, right? Gets that duo for a gain. We're not going to see Balla OU yet call any timeouts, although he's getting close to like, hey, we should call some timeouts. Dcroft, I probably run the ball again right here. He could go past. I mean, I'm curious. He might go past. I'm pretty big on right here. This is absolutely a duo call, especially how good that duo's treated him so far. So I just go back to it again. And yeah, he's going to go back to the duo. Yeah, gets downhill. Easy gain of 5. There's the timeout from Balla. If you ever have duos in your playbook, especially from shotgun, I'm a huge advocate of those. Those runs are really, really good. We have a breakdown of the championship game of VA Dimes against Dcroft here. The title is something about Dcroft's offense. And they both run a lot of duos in that game. Really good high-low route concept. This is a basic 2-man. Right? Whenever you get these 2-man route combos, I love them. So here, we talk about that ISO. He's going to go back on a little comeback route, breaking outside. A little underneath. High-low, that flat defender. Hit him. And then Dcroft purposely stays in bounds and gets himself to where he can get another first down if need be. That clock's going to keep going. We're going to see Dcroft run the ball here for a second. Yeah, run got blown up that time. 2nd and 12. Balla calls that timeout. Dcroft probably runs this ball. I mean, I probably just run this ball. I'm so comfortable just going up 17. Last thing you do here, like a pick 6, something stupid. Like, oh no, very bad. And so he's going to dump it down. Get tackled for 3rd and 2. There's the timeout from Baller. Hook 'em horns, brother. Hook 'em horns. We're going to see Dcroft checking the single back wing tight. Or, I'm sorry, wing pair. I'm not sure what he goes to. It was like stretch or something. Let's see. Goes stretch left. Right there. And that's a basic. And he's going to go down. No touchdown scored. And so this is a basic little numbers game, right? You have stretch right or you go stretch left. Easy stretch left is block, hook. And ideally, these guys work and are able to chip to the second level, maybe even not, you just get a one-on-one with that backer. It's a tough tackle, especially in college football. And we'll see what happens right here. Do they work to the second level? They do actually. Yeah, they get to that second level. A little weird blocking, but nonetheless. Dcroft falls down. Gonna milk the rest of this clock. We're gonna skip ahead just a little bit right here. And Dcroft does end up scoring a touchdown. What's Dcroft do? Stretch. Yeah, easy walk in. And perfect time management too, right? 10 seconds. Baller's not gonna score a touchdown or anything like that. You're up 21 zip. Incredible spot. So, only thing we have going for Baller right now as we start the second half is the fact that we have 10 minutes left. So, it's a long game. 2, you have made Dcroft make a couple of tighter throws. And 3, we have the ball. Now, with that being said, we are in a bad spot, especially now we got to start passing. We have not shown a ton of life in the passing game. He's going to go for the long ball and actually catches it. So this ball right here throws it pretty much right on the break. Right on, like right here, give or take, is where he actually ends up breaking. And just cuts it off in front of these defenders. But kind of a good ball. This is almost a ball I'd like to see him, like, maybe get better at throwing or something. If you could cut this ball off, like, better. Because that right there, the DB could animate on you and just knock it out. But if you get a cleaner cut on that, or a cleaner rocket catch, cutting the ball off, would be nice. Almost need that post to run a little bit flatter. We're here, dropping back. You can go for the long ball, one-on-one. Boom. And that's where, low ball is trying to take some shots right here just a bit. I do think, though, now that I think about this offensive formation more, you do got to get this guy involved more as the ISO, right? You're spreading the field out so much. If you're going to pass the ball, you've got to get him just a little bit more involved somehow. Go over to the tight open. Dcroft, and big thing to keep in mind with Dcroft's game, he keeps things very, very basic. I think so many people try to make this game so complicated. So many people try to make this game so this and that. And it's like, man, call good plays and execute. Execute. If you, I say this to Civil GG members all the time. Like, I always get asked, like, what do you think about this player at this spot? This ability, that ability, this upgrade and cut, that upgrade and cut, whatever. And man, like, that stuff's important. Yes, that stuff is important. But I'm telling you, if you spent the same amount of time on getting really good at really good plays that you did on trying to find what's more important, run block finesse or run block power, you would be so much better at the game. You'd win more games, right? Because here's the thing. I promise you, Dcroft does not know or care about what his pass blocking stats are on his offensive line, right? Like, for the most part, he really just doesn't care. I know I can say that confidently because I know Dcroft. And so I think that's something where people just get a little bit too wrapped into, and it's a time suck, man. There's only so much time in the day. Slot corner still splitting the difference. Low ball. Here's a drive though, right? We have a 1st and 10 now. And this is like your opportunity a little bit to get back into the game. This RPO kind of killed Dcroft a little early in the game. This time, though, not really there. And able to do a really good job to stopping that run. A little loop from the backer. Able to blow it up. Balla not going hurry up yet. And I do want to I want to point out, because I know Balla's going to get some hate because obviously this game's kind of a blowout right now. To get to this point, they had to win like 10 games in a row. Like, Baller's very good, very good at the game. I don't love the double corners on the right side without a clear out, but he goes back to the return route. I love return routes. That's from the gun tight open. That's a play tight end corner. Tight end corner, one of my favorite plays every year out of the gun tight Y off. And he's doing a good job. Goes hurry up here. Little inside zone, cuts it up. And this is big. Stop here. Dcroft just wins. You score here if you're Balla. Low life. A little bit of life. Dcroft stack in the box. You're going to go to that RPO read slide. Gets KO'd. Now it's a 3rd and goal. Ooh. And I'm curious how this one go. I do not remember how this goes right here. This is big. You need some kind of gadget, some kind of something. A little hard flat from the outside corner right there. And we're seeing time get taken. Okay. That slot corner still splitting the difference. Right? Doesn't look like he's sending a loop. And notice again, Dcroft gets on the safety that was here, brings him down. He's going to really, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 people in the box. He's saying, you will not run the ball. And guess what? You can't really throw his RPO. This guy is a little bit far out. Usually you like to split the difference a little bit more. And remember that assignment from this guy is usually going to be a hard flat. You see the motion in. See this little dot play here. Little zig, rolls out. Gets taken down, 4th and goal from the 4. And this is potential, man. I'm like, does he have a speed option or something like that? I don't think he's going to get this passing. And running's tough. Like, if you have like a speed option or anything like that you can go to, he's going to go mesh spot. Okay. It's going to be tough. You almost need Dcroft to have a little bit of lapse in coverage. Snaps it. Dcroft only sends 3. Takes off. And this was a really good play. This was a really, really good play from Baller. So steps up. Right? Nothing really there. He's going to take off. Dcroft sees him taking off. This is very hard to defend. So Dcroft switches on to this guy. Going to come meet him. Then as he's taking off, going to hit this little dot. This is a genuinely very high-level play. And this keeps Baller's life alive in this, right? Baller's now like, okay, only down 14. You got to think, it takes a D-line pick 6. It takes a sack fumble. It takes Dcroft making just a mistake, right? And you are right back in this game. 2 scores. I'm always a big believer. 2 scores, there's life until like the final seconds when it's a 2-score game. It really is just how onside kicks are, especially you got timeouts. Like, you never know. I've won these games numerous times in the position that Baller's in just by staying alive. Now 2nd and 10, right? You kind of blow up that first down. Dcroft's got a pass here. You have an idea of what Dcroft's pass plays are. He's not going anything crazy. He's keeping things very basic. He's just executing. Let's go here. Watch this wheel. Watch this backside drag. He hasn't really done a great job of getting that backside ISO drag involved, but he is manually chewing the clock right here too. Starting to get that game clock down because the clock is his friend here. And there's that drag as he passes the QB spy and going to get that first down. So that's one of the things I feel like people don't realize, right? You have a drag, you get thrown here, you get thrown here, here, right? Drags are really cool because of how much space they actually attack underneath. And there's almost like you need like to defend that drag across the entirety of the play. You almost need like 4 zones technically, right? You need that first seam, the middle, that last seam, then the hard flat. There's so many different areas that you have to defend with him. And it could just be tough. Now Dcroft, another 90 seconds he can run off. Gonna go duo. This will take us, this set of downs should take us to the 4th as he gets a first down from it too. Notice the run stick too. This is all left stick. All left stick. No tapping anything, no right trigger, bang, boom. This is what college football lets you do that you can't really do in Madden, is that movement. That movement is, you're just able to make people miss real easy in the open field. And so this will be the final play of the 3rd quarter. Probably just go back to the duo. There's no reason not to. Even if it gets blown up, you're 2nd and 12, right? Let's see. He's going to milk it down underneath 30 seconds. There's that duo call again. I will say this. If you're Lil Balla, you know he's running. We got to get on this guy. We got to get on this guy, man. We got to get on this guy. Bring him in. Right, just blow this run up. Beg him to pass the ball because you need the clock stopping. You need him to get in a spot where he can make a mistake. You got to get him behind the chains right here. And this time, they actually played great run defense. That'll take us to the 4th. 2nd and 11. Okay. Here's a little bit of life. Here's a little bit of a chance. And now Dcroft going to pass the ball. Going to go with that high-low on the right side. Has the in route from the halfback. Bang. And whenever you do these little high-low route combos, man, especially on the sidelines, it's just a 2-man game. You're just reading that one flat defender. There's one defender on the sidelines you got to really worry about. In this case, it's this guy. We have low route. We have high route. This guy's about to break back into a comeback around this area. So this guy goes high, we go low. He goes low, we go high, right? When you say it like that, it's pretty simple. That's because it's a simple game. Goes underneath, Dcroft stays in bounds. Let's go run another 30 off. Now Dcroft only about 10 yards away from making it a 3-possession game as well. This next first down is huge. Absolutely 4-down territory too, right? So this is I think this is a really good example of a game of doing a great job managing your lead too. I think Dcroft's doing a really good job with all that. Let's go. Oh, okay. We're gonna get a little zoom in action here. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, we're gonna see low ball on that high safety. 3-man rush. Gets a little bit of pressure. But there's that same thing, man. We're just going to high-low that right sideline. And it doesn't matter what you're doing everywhere else. You only have one, right? How many flat zones? Genuine question. How many flat zones do we have on the right side right here? This guy's deep. We have one, right? So if this guy attacks this area, right, on a comeback route, this guy attacks this area. So let's just like map this out. We're attacking this area. We're attacking roughly this area. One flat zone. He can't defend both. It's easy. Like bang. Come back. Good. Now this could be a tough throw, right? A little timing on that. Need a good pass lead, all that good stuff. But he's able to hit. That gets the that gets things going a little bit more. The duo gets him to 2nd and 12. Really good spot, obviously. We now see ball to check into 3-4 odd for the first time all game. Dcroft goes to the duo. 3rd and 1. Let's see. Was he in 3-4 odd right there? Or did I just totally miss that? It looked like his back. Oh, he's getting his backers out. Okay. It's essential. It looks like 3-3 Cub. Similar idea. Dcroft manually chewing again. Probably see him just go back to the duo. I doubt he passes. I don't think you pass in this situation. That first down, even the first down really isn't even worth it. For the risk of passing. And he will. Okay. He'll throw it in route. Kind of a scarier throw. See, I don't love that. Kind of a really scary throw. And he's just going to kick. And not like the scariest. And I get that pocket he's trying to hit. I don't love that, though. I just think the risk that comes from that, like a dumb, hit as you throw, something stupid. It's like, it could just be, this scarier throw. And the only way Lobala gets back in this game is a pick right there. You know what I mean? Nonetheless, Dcroft can kick his 3. And we'll just skip ahead of some because Ball is just trying to stay alive. Ends up, I believe, throwing a pick right here. Let's see. 4th and 4. Crowds back. Yeah. Wow. Almost agged him. And that'll be GG's.
Now here we're moving to the championship game where Dcroft's playing another Madden pro named VA Dimes. This guy's also won a lot of money playing professional Madden, and he's made it all the way here to the finals of this College Football 25 tournament, meaning that he's pretty good at this game too. All right, so I actually got the pleasure to commentate this tournament live while it was happening. Eli Mack next to me, Nick Mazesco there, and also Reggie Bush. It was a pretty sick experience here. Dcroft is playing against VA Dimes. Now, both these guys are actually Madden dudes, had a lot of success in Madden, who are transitioning over to college football for this tournament. Now, Dcroft is inside of the the Michigan playbook. They're very similar, especially in the gun bunch strong offset. You're going to see we have 4 receivers to the left side. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the first play of the game. Dcroft is on offense. We have VA Dimes on defense as James Madison, and he's in the 6-1 defense, okay? This bad boy is going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people on the line of scrimmage. All of these guys can be blitzers. When you hear me talk about blitz, no blitz, and trying to identify that pre-snap, here we're thinking good chance of a blitz, and we got to be ready for on offense. User right here will probably end up mugging the gap. And let's see what Dcroft does on the very first play of the game here. And this is what a lot of people do. A lot of people are willing to run the ball in the first play, especially on 1st and 10 to get the ball going. And you see just a absolute massive. This is one of the best feelings in the world, right? Dcroft is known as one of the best passers in the world year in and year out. And when you just get, this is a high nerve game, right? A lot on the line. When you just get an easy touchdown like that, it makes things it just makes you feel great. Little duo call this is. And what's nice here is that a lot of people, like you could take this here, you could take it here. You can actually control the halfback enough to break it all the way outside here and all the way outside here as well if need be. And it's just the best feeling in the world right here. VA Dimes gap shoot a little bit off. You see we get open space. Now, VA Dimes clicks on to Sanders here. Doesn't mean to. I think he wanted to click on here. Opens up an easy broken tackle. Misses that tackle. Just an explosive run from Alvin Kamara. And just easy walk-in touchdown from Dcroft. If you're Dimes, you hate that, right? The biggest number one thing, and I talk about this a lot when it comes to like defensive strategy, is that you need to make your opponent work. And in a game where Dimes probably doesn't win this game if it gets into the 30s, right? For Dimes to win this game, kind of needs to get a couple of stops, a couple of half stops. He's going to win this game like a 2017 style game, real grinded out style. And so Dcroft is putting up a really easy touchdown. It's tough because Dcroft's going to convert some of those like hard drives.
So you just got to make every drive a hard drive, and instead of just, kind of an easy one. Dimes, though, plays offense in a very unique way where he's going to be coming out and allow this bunch open, and he's willing to audible around. He told me beforehand he wanted to get the run game going quite a bit here, and we'll see. So 3 wide receivers to the left. We can't totally see them, and they're actually kind of behind my face cam. We have 3 wide receivers to the left right here, and then Dcroft bringing this safety down, really trying to stack the box here, right? We have 5 offensive linemen, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, now 7 people in the box, almost saying like, hey, Dimes, you're not going to be able to run the ball, right? That's really what Dcroft's trying to do. Just take away that run game from Dimes, make him throw. That's the defensive scheme. That's the defensive strategy. First play is a bubble, and this is where when you stack the box against something that has, 3 wide receivers on one side, you have a little numbers disadvantage. Dimes able to take advantage of that with a quick bubble. Now notice, did you see what happened right there? This is a massive thing. Dcroft just took a slot corner. This guy, he started out here, moved him inside. Now Dcroft's kind of tipping his hand coverage-wise. He moves this guy inside right here, and it puts him in probably a hard flat. The reason for this is that when you move him inside, if you run that bubble, so this guy, or a screen, this guy's on the screen, this guy goes downfield to block, this guy blocks right here, this guy's in a hard flat, he's able to play this really, really well. As opposed to, if this guy stayed inside, he'd get blocked by this guy straight up. So some Dcroft does immediately there. I like that adjustment from Dcroft, trying to be able to keep that box strong and still to be able to defend the bubble to the outside. Huge, huge fan of that. See, again, Dimes goes out to the duo. Both these guys called duos early. Dimes cuts it outside, 2nd and 6. He has an offensive lineman. He said he was really happy about this ability. I believe it's called interior grip. It is, and it's helped him a lot in the run game. That's where, in my opinion, Dimes is gonna, he needs to get the run game going to a gain of 4 or 5. And in his passing situations, which we'll get to a few of, he's got to convert. Notice right there, there's that duo. A lot of people take this run inside, right? Because this is where the arrow's going right here. You could do this. You could do this. Notice Dimes takes it outside. And that's tough for your Dcroft, right? Dimes actually kind of gaining decent yardage, and you're stacking the box. It's kind of annoying. This time, we have trips to the left side, a little quick inside zone, able to pick up the first down. Dimes very much showing he's willing to run the ball consistently, able to, and actually, picking up good yards to, this is what I kind of expected from a Dimes style of offense, where he's going to be very, very methodical with it, very grounded pound, get those yardage. Boom. There, though, that's what Dcroft needs. And that's why when you are somebody who's run heavy, and you're playing somebody who's run heavy, on 1st and 10, especially on 1st and 10, right? You know there's a good chance he's running the ball. He hasn't shown he's going to pass yet. You're able to get that lucky shed, that kind of gap shoot, which can happen a lot in the run game. Get them behind the chains. Now you're putting Dimes in a spot where 2nd and 13, he's going to have to break into the passing game for the first time, most likely. He could go RPO. Dimes is the type to do that. He could go RPO here. He could go run still. But I'm expecting a pass on this set of downs. Yeah, he's going to check into the trio offset weak. And we have one of my favorite route combos in the game. Dimes actually got a big dot in his semifinal game with this. So this, I call this flat wheel post. It's some variation of this right here. We've ran this a lot on the channel, actually, where we do something along the lines of this, right? There's some variations here. But what happens here, if you look at this route combo, we're going to incredibly high-low. Let's see, can I get a different color right here for a second? Yeah, we're going to go blue. We're going to high-low this sideline. The sideline's getting high-load. And then on the left side, we're going horizontal spacing. So this is also getting high-load right here. Then we're horizontally spacing this side. Flat zones get pushed out because of the out route. And we're attacking this short seam and the deep seam potentially too, depending on what defensive shell Dcroft ends up running. You go a little motion instead, so a little variation of this. Let's go. There's a wheel, not there. Has the corner out. Really good switch stick. This is one of the biggest things. We talk about switch stick so much in our videos. Here's an example of it actually happening in real time and what could have been a pick, right? This is cover 2 on the right side. We have half and we have cloud. Corner route is attacking right here. This corner route's getting open. We can all agree that he's running to open space. Dcroft sees this. He's a very good player. He's very good at seeing the entire field. Dcroft's user right here is on Stutzman. He uses the right stick and just flicks it to the right flat defender. So you just flick it to the right. That's using switch stick. And if we watch it, watch what happens. Look, he's starting to get open. Notice right here, Dcroft is on this guy now. You can see the little name underneath it. and he's on this guy. He's going up. This is a big opportunity for an interception or at least forcing an incompletion. You see it, boom, gets a red pass, and Dimes might be lucky for the red pass right there, honestly. Especially with the red pass going above. Had it going underneath, definitely a pick. Had it been a good pass, I think that gets deflected, though. I think it gets deflected. 3rd and 13. Dcroft in the 3-3 mint on defense. Really what he's trying to do? Boom, contain, bang. So think about this. So Cam Newton, very fast QB. Dimes, not known as a great passer. This is a situation that Dcroft wants it to be in. Now, Dimes can pass, but in terms of his overall game, Dimes running the ball is much scarier. So what Dcroft wants to do here is make Dimes do what he's not as good at, which is pocket passing. So we go contain right here, going to keep Cam in the pocket, and then we're going to collapse the middle with a looper, okay? So watch how this actually develops on this play. 3rd and 13, looper comes around. Dimes does a good job finding the open man in the middle, and Dcroft, though, is okay with that. Gain of 8 for Dimes, cuts the distance essentially in half. Dcroft gets him to a 4th and 5. Another passing situation, and Dimes going to go 5 wide here. I actually like this quite a bit. All right, we're going to really space out the field. Got to watch out for like a deep out route potentially. Yeah. Let's see what we do. And I love this. Going a little, essentially a smash concept on the right side. Dcroft has shown he's willing to go cover 2 on this right side. So you go corner route above, attacks that area, deep out route, or kind of not a deep out route necessarily, kind of. Attacking there. And let's see. And what does Dcroft do? He goes cover 2. You see this guy bailing. You see this guy go Tampa 2 or in a cloud. And you just high-low this circle, R1. Really basic read right there. Good job. Almost a good switch shake from Dcroft. Good high ball, though, from VA Dimes. When we talk about high balls in our videos, that's a great example of utilizing that high ball to attack over top of an underneath defender. That's really when you want to use high balls. High ball, you activate it by holding left bumper. I like to do high balls with bullet passes as well, just because, in my opinion, that's the best way. Dimes going to that duo, get the run game going. Frustrated for Dcroft because that's the situation. Again, like Dimes, what impressed me with Dimes throughout this tournament is that, again, I keep on saying it, but it's an important thing to note is that he's not, like, his game isn't pocket passing. Yet when he got into these pocket pass situations, he really converted super well, and it's frustrating if you're Dcroft because it's like, damn, that's what I want him in, and he is like beating the game plan. Like, okay, it's like if you were playing the Lions. Let's say I'm a big Lions fan, and you had the Lions consistently on 3rd and 15 or so. You're like, hell yeah, like that's not what they want to be, and they just kept converting. It's like, oh gosh, what do we do? 3rd and 5 now for Dimes. Notice that slot corner, right? Every time we see this wide bunch, we're going to see slot corner get moved inside. Looking to put him in a hard flat to play the screen. Really, Dcroft, you can see he's selling out to try taking away the run game and the RPO game. Dcroft on Dimes on 3rd and 5, though. We go out route, gets it. So, this is a nice little chess match. We've identified this guy has been moved inside, right? He started out here, moved him inside, put him in that hard flat. Well, if that's the case, and this guy's on an out route, guess what? This guy can't get there in time. You're able to just barely pass it up and out. If we watch this play again, this is just taking advantage of leverage. People want to talk about the game's glitchy, the game's not realistic, whatever. That is basic leverage that real-life offensive coordinators and quarterbacks notice in real time and use. That's one of the best examples ever. And if you're Dimes, that's how you have to attack this move in the slot corner style of defense. You have to like that. One of the best ways. Don't let them move that guy in. Let's see, Dimes goes to the duo. Gets it down to about the 3. And this has been a very grinded out style of drive for Mr. Dimes. By the way, I've known Dcroft for a very long time now. I've known Dimes. I've known of Dimes, and like we talked maybe here and there for years. First time meeting Dimes was the other day, though, when I was out here. And really great guy. Genuinely a very, very good guy. Cuts it inside, gets stuffed. Always a little scary. Now we're 3rd and goal from the 2. Definitely, in my opinion, 4 down territory. Not sure what you guys think. My opinion, 4 down territory, though. Let's see at 3rd and goal what both these guys come out in. Guessing Dcroft just going to be in the 6-2 goal line. Maybe the 5-3. No, he's actually going to be in 3-4 odd. Okay, so still similar idea. Similar idea. And my guess is that he's going to send the dogs at him. We'll see. Little flip. I actually love this play. I remember this play. So Dcroft sends the dogs. Blitz does not really get in. Little snag route, touchdown. Flag is going to be on the defense, so it doesn't matter at all. So I actually like this quite a bit. We have this guy attacking the flat. Little sit route in the middle. Little quick drag over the middle. These drags, I'm a huge fan of them. I talk about them a lot in our videos. Really, really good across the middle of the field and obviously in the red zone. I love this tight end route, though. Really does a good job sitting. If you're Dcroft, really you kind of like your play call defensively. Maybe this guy's a little slow, and maybe our switch stick could have been over here, but the blitz just doesn't come in fast enough. It gets kind of held up. It's just kind of, dang, is what it is. Illegal contact was the call right here. Illegal contact on Charles Woodson. So didn't even end up mattering. Good touchdown for Dimes. And now we're going to bring up Dcroft's first drive that he's actually running. This will be Dcroft's, assuming he doesn't score a one-play touchdown again, right? First and 10 for Dcroft. Dimes still in that 6-1 defense. He starts out with the duo. This time, though, the duo does not get as busy as a previous time. Might take this to the second quarter potentially. We'll see. And Dcroft's gonna he's gonna run a few plays and he's gonna master those plays. That's how he likes to play the game quite a bit. And one thing you'll see, a little bad pass lead, and ends up yellowing it basically. One thing you'll see sometimes is Dcroft block this tight end to try to pick up this blitz. Although Dimes has yet to show the blitz as one of his defensive play calls. Deep post trying to attack over top of everything. Drag coming back across is one of Dcroft's favorite plays. Essentially looking like this, where you have really the issue with a play like this can be that you're really attacking deep, so you have to have that time in the pocket to be able to get some stuff open here. We'll see 4-man pass rush, so he's gonna have the time. Tries throwing this post, and Dcroft almost throws this pick. This is an outside third right here. Now this play, I know this play is supposed to bomb this guy. I don't know if Dcroft didn't stem this up enough. Maybe it's just a super close dot, but it actually looks like if this ball is accurate, look at where I think if this ball is accurate, this guy snags it. Maybe it's right on him. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure. I think though it stemmed just a tad bit down. It wasn't stemmed up enough rather. And just like that, on Dcroft's first actual drive, he gets pushed to a 4th and 8. You go to one of our favorite route combos. Dimes sends that blitz, and Dcroft goes underneath. Don't be afraid to look underneath. Even right there, right, 4th and 8, Dcroft hits the ISO drag. And notice what Dcroft does here, he fears the blitz, right? He's thinking blitz, no blitz. In this case, you got to be very fearful of the blitz because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus user could be 7. He's going to block the tight end, and then everyone's just going to go man, 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 man. Okay, very basic blocking. But blocking that tight end means that you can use the halfback on a route combo, and it does a better job of keeping the pocket clean and not collapsing the pocket like a blocked halfback can do. Quick drag, able to get it with a Stephon Diggs. Big gain, and that takes us to the end of the first quarter. 7-7. Honestly, both these guys playing pretty good right now, but right, both of them on their actual first offensive drives, right? 'Cause I'm not counting that actual first one from Dcroft. Quick 4th downs. We're kind of seeing some defense get after it here. Again, Dcroft blocking that tight end just in case he sends the blitz. Blitz does come in, though. Good quick read. Whenever you have those quick routes, I talked about it so much, right? Especially here, right? Little ISO drag. Think about it. So we have this ISO drag on the ISO wide receiver. This guy blitzes. How do we defend this ISO drag then if this guy blitzes? We have this guy. This guy's going to be tough for him to defend. We have the user could defend it, and this guy can't. So really only 2 players on the field can defend it at that point. And if we just watch what happens, user goes right, this guy bails, right? Who do we say could defend it? This guy kind of. Well, he bails, drag, wide open. This is why you read spaces, not always just wide receivers. And that's that first read for Dcroft doing a good job of just immediately getting there and immediately taking your first read. Something he didn't really do in the first 3 plays of this drive, I felt like. Now we get a 1st and 10. I would not be shocked by a duo call, but it looks like he's just going to get into his passing game a little bit more consistently now. Again, that block tight end right here. I'm curious. Little trail concept. 5-man pass rush. Post route over top. just barely overthrown. If you're Dcroft, you're annoyed. Dcroft throughout this tournament actually had a few bad pass leads. One thing I've felt going between Madden and college football, which both these guys have, is I felt like the pass leading is like, even though it's both placement and accuracy, something about it is slightly different. And it could just because in Madden, like we both, Dcroft and I both use a lot of gunslinger, which can kind of change things, but something to keep in mind. Cam Newton right there showing off the legs. Dcroft went right back to that same play, but Dimes ended up going to more of a cover 4 shell, took away that deep post. I like the adjustment. 3rd and 1 goes duo. And the thing I'll say here, man, is if you're Dimes, I'd like to make this call a little bit scarier. And by the very least, I mean, bring these guys into the box more just to make Dcroft second guess this. Because honestly, every time Dcroft's called duo, he's at least been able to get a yard. And this is pretty basic. Boom, 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 boom. Right? So, some along the lines of this blocking wise. At least, get your user over here, make it look like you can shoot the gap. Dimes, maybe a little slow on adjusting right there. And Dcroft does quick snaps. Duo gets one-on-one. Yeah. That's kind of like almost a gimme on a kind of a big down, right? Because you get to stop right there, 4th and short. Dcroft has to kind of question whether or not what he's doing. And Dimes gets ball at half. Dimes gets ball at half. Big deal. Nosa ISO drag yet again. Boom. Goes tight end post. Gets barely a step. Overthrown just barely. And yeah, this is where like Dcroft is having a lot of pass leading issues in this game. Where like this is what you want. You have that leverage on this defender. You're crossing his face, getting to this area. But the pass just a little bit off. I mean, the read's good. The read's definitely good. Just barely pushed it. And I'm not sure why he had so many issues with some of these passes. You kind of see Dcroft's reaction where he's like kind of frustrated, right? Because that is like if you catch it, that is a dot. But bad pass lead for some reason. That is user error. I'm just not sure what he's doing or why it's happening so much. Good defense from Dimes. Gets a big sack. So, you take advantage of your opponent kind of messing up on 1st down. Play good defense on 2nd down. Get him into a 3rd and 14. And we kind of change what we're looking at right here in terms of the actual box. But nonetheless, drops back. Has a tight end post. Same idea. Woo! That time almost picked off. That's where you're frustrated. Probably should have been a pick. Dcroft going to sell for 3. This is where, this is where it's tough, right? Because if you're Dcroft, you've overthrown this same ball, same leverage. So you try purposely not throwing it as far, right? Because you have that exact same leverage. So now you kind of underthrow it. This guy, the tight end, no longer catches it in stride, kind of catches it in his body instead of out here, letting the DB behind him catch up. Contested pick. I'm of the belief where you'd like to see this get picked off, I think. But the same, you know what I mean? DB gets his hands on the ball. With that being said, first one, would like to see that be a touchdown. So Dcroft is going to settle for the tray. Kicks up, kicks through. Easy. Takes a 10-7 lead. At this point in the game, though, you got, if you're Dimes, you have ball, down 3, right? You're losing, but you get ball at halftime. So if we think about this, Dimes, and the way he's playing the game, Dimes can milk this clock down underneath 30 seconds, call a time, or not call a timeout, score that touchdown underneath 30 seconds or so, put Dcroft in a spot where he doesn't have enough time to get points. That touchdown puts Dimes up 4, and then he gets ball out of half. If he's able to score another touchdown, he's up 11, and it puts Dcroft in a pretty bad spot. Bad read right there, trying to go quick out route on the bubble. I don't really love those quick out routes, those quick bubble out routes. Sometimes they're good against zone coverage, someone like zone blitzing you, but they're not great. They're not the absolute best, in my opinion. They're very specific for what they're good against. He's going to go duo, and this is where Dcroft does a good job of just absolutely gearing up for the run, shooting the gap. This is where if you could shoot gaps, that's why your user can be so important. Just going to come totally free right here. Double team, opens that lane up, and immediately puts Dimes in a spot that he doesn't want to be in on 3rd and 12. Dimes does go turbo. Dimes does go fast here. Does he go? Did he just audible a jet sweep? This is not a jet sweep down. Okay, he did not. I missaw that. I'd like for us to go full screen again, please, production. Please, production, go full screen again. Goes post, bad pass lead. So you see both these guys struggling with pass leading, and I think it's because they're coming from Madden. Because right here, we actually have this post route inside quarter right here. Post routes running just underneath it. Dimes tries pass leading down here. Just gets a bad pass lead on it, or just doesn't do a good job on it. And I mean, this is an open ball. This is an open throw. Just bad pass lead, bad click on maybe. Ends up being a missed throw when he really, like, that would have been huge. And that's why I said, like, Dimes, honestly, these are situations on defense you wanted to put Dimes in. And I felt like he was, for the most part, in his first game especially, and then so far in this game, he did really good. Like, he did really good. Dimes going to call that timeout. So now we have a 4th and 12. Dcroft running a similar defense every time, right? Out of 35 men, contain, bull rush, low loop action happening here. Trying to collapse that pocket, trying to get a free runner at the QB. We're going to go 5 wide here. Last time we went 5 wide, we saw something like this. Curl, out route, corner route. A little bit deeper situation, though, here, right? Dimes was on a 4th and 7 when he called that earlier. 4th and 12. A little bit tougher to call something like that. Might still see the deep out route, and we're going to see a wheel. I don't love this route combo. Goes curl route in traffic. Drops the ball in traffic. And that's tough. That's tough right there. It's a ball that can definitely get knocked out. That's why I don't love, I mean, the spacing here. Like, this is why spacing can be so important. And to kind of give an example, you just don't ever want to be in a spot where one defender bagged him and then is able to make a play here to knock this out. This is where route combos and spacing plays such a factor. Something that we talk about so much. Imagine had that tight end maybe been on an in route or something like that, would have gotten away from that hook curl. There was a defender to the left, but he was actually like matching or manning up to the guy to the top left. And now just like that, boom, bad pass lead. Not my favorite route combo. We go from Dimes low-key being in a spot to be in the driver's seat to Dimes being down 3 with Dcroft having the ball. Dcroft runs the ball on 1st and 10. That's going to milk some of the clock right here. Thank you. We go back to the full screen. Just makes it look better from our end. Although the production crew for this, shout out to all of them. I think they killed it with this, like, genuinely. Yeah, I thought they did a really good job. But what I would like to see here, Dimes, like, he's in the 6-1, right? But this guy's way out here, so you know he's not blitzing. This guy right here, like, could be blitzing. You know, maybe we're sending 5, but users up here. Just not a very scary front. And you go against someone like Dcroft, who, again, speaking just what is true, what is factual, Dcroft's been one of the best Madden players in the past 5 years. Over $150,000 in earnings, and he's done that passing the ball. You got to make him uncomfortable. This is just shed defense right here. This is not making somebody uncomfortable, right? Might be able to play good defense around it, but definitely not making him super uncomfortable. Good shed, though. Shed defense gets the shed, so, hey. 3rd and 11. Dcroft going back to that ISO drag that he's hit a few times. Not going to be there. And the shed defense, while I'll say about Dimes, while he is calling a lot of shed defense, he's doing a really good job bagging, making a lot of adjustments on the defense side of the ball. And those sheds are coming, right? Number 62 gets bull rushed, gets shedded. Dcroft has to throw it away. And that's where if you're Dcroft, it's like, dude, you just got to stop. And now you're settling for 3 again. Kind of gets Dimes back to that same situation that we talked about before where, you know, is he down 6? Like, yeah. Does that suck? Yeah. He could score a touchdown, go up 1 going into half, get ball, score another touchdown, go up 8 before Dcroft ever sees the ball again. And that's why, for me, I've always been a massive advocate of getting ball at half, so kicking to begin games. We made a video about settings where I talked about that. Dcroft, though, actually disagreed with that, and I talked to him before the game. He was happy to get ball early, to get ball first. That's what he wanted. We'll see. But it has potential to backfire, right? Defense, though, the name of the game so far, really for both these guys. See that slot corner moved in yet again, goes inside zone. And now what I'll say, Dcroft has done a really good job of shutting down Dimes' run game, both on the last set of drive, or last set of downs, and on 1st and 10 right here, putting Dimes in those situations where he's got to pass the ball consistently, right? Where he's got to hit the pass leads, he's got to hit the route combos. We'll see 2nd and 9. Looks like we're just going to take this to 2-minute warning. Might get a playoff here. And I do not think so. 2nd and 9 for Dimes. Going to send out halfback. Pressure gets picked up really well. This is, see, I don't, this is a super deep post, and I get what he's trying to do. So let's watch the outside wide receiver right here. So this guy, inside 3rd right here, moving here, boom. Dimes sees this guy cutting or knows he's about to cut, so he throws it right on the break, trying to catch this down. He's able to get his hands on the ball. What happens here, though, And again, like, you can look at it right here, and this is where it's, like, very, like, ooh. He's able to catch this down and get his hands on the ball. It's so contested. It's so hard to actually catch this, right? This would have been a much better throw. Look how like deep this guy cuts. If this was a deep in route, imagine instead of cutting up like this guy cut horizontally. This is a dot. Instead, this guy cuts up into this area. Just this guy's able to play it. This guy's able to play it. Again, imagine if this guy cut in, dot right here. He doesn't though, and that's why a play like this isn't a big gain. Dime's upset that he doesn't catch this. I think this is an incredibly tough catch. Good click on Ag. I love the anticipation, right? He knew exactly when that thing was going to break. That's how you have to pass the ball. And again, like, his receiver does drop it. I think the receiver should have been in an animation getting contacted anyways. Deep S post to the right. We'll see what this auto motion does here. A little angle over the middle. And I like this little trail concept. Tight end slant. Little angle following behind. Goes quick throw to the angle. Holds onto it in traffic. Dimes to a 4th and 2. And picture how fast this game low-key could change right here. I said 2-3 minutes ago that Dimes had a chance to actually low-key be in the driver's seat. Now, if you get stopped, it's like, this might be G. Like, it's not G's. It's not GG's by any means. But it's not a good look. It's not a good spot. Going with that wide side wheel concept. I'm a big fan of it. Dimes calls the timeout. You can't take them to the second half, but you do hate having to burn them because you never know what the rest of this half could entail. And that could be the difference between you getting the ball back. Could be the difference between you getting an extra play for the end zone, right? But 4th and 2, you don't want to call bad play either. So he goes to the fake wheel screen. What is the route combo we're going with here? I don't love the route combo, but what's nuts is that he actually has something open. So I don't love, like, this is essentially just hoping for cover 2 on the right side or on the left side. He's hoping for deep half cloud, which Dcroft wasn't showing a ton on this side. So this guy gets bagged by hard flat. This guy, so we have hard flat, we have outside third. Both these guys just get bagged really easily by that. So it's just a bad play call on the left side from Dimes, just getting the coverage wrong. Over the middle, though, I'll say, I don't like little seam streak. This guy ends up being a middle third, so this is bagged. I like that. Like, this can do a good job in the middle potentially if the user's bad, and this guy quick attack in the out or the right flat. Notice what happens. The flat zone on the right side. Look at Charles Woodson. So the flat zone's this guy, Charles Woodson, up here. He actually gets sucked inside somehow. I don't know totally how, but it leaves this tight end out route open. Maybe that was man coverage, actually. Maybe Charles Woodson was manned up onto the tight end, but that's a massive stop for Dcroft, you got to think, because now Dcroft no longer in a spot where he can go down without touching the ball again, right? He has the potential here to, at the very least, get 3, especially because Dimes is out of timeout. So Dimes really shouldn't see this ball again unless Dcroft just scores too fast, unless Dcroft kind of stops himself maybe, or, stops the clock by passing a little bit. That was a big loss, though, 2nd of 15. He is on the edge of field goal range. And you guys know, college football 25, field goals are not easy in this game. Field goals are not easy at all. First time we're seeing a halfback corner route from Dcroft. Not really there. Touchdown, though. What happens here? I believe this is a bad switch stick from Dimes. Maybe gets caught up. Yeah, switch sticks onto the outside corner. Fade is wide open. Boom, touchdown. And just like that, I mean, the game is just flipped on its head so quickly. Again, glass half full, though, for Dimes. He has ball right now. If he can score anything, he gets ball at half. This game is not really out of the picture. And again, this is kind of a testament to how big holding someone to 3 a few times is, because Dcroft's kicked 3 twice, and how important, in my mind, it is to get ball at half. I think that was a dumb decision by Dimes, though. Touchback right here. You get the ball at the 25. He takes this out. He doesn't even get to a hash mark, so he's in the middle anyways, and he loses 13 yards and 2 seconds. That's a massive difference when all you're trying to do here is just get some kind of points, right? You only got 1 timeout. For you to get points, probably going to come down to the final seconds, maybe a spike, maybe a timeout the last second, whatever. So you don't love to see that. I think it was just a bad... I don't love taking out of the end zone right there. At the very least, get to a hash mark, right? I can see that. playing offense from a hash mark, most people prefer as opposed to the middle of the field. And again, like I think this was kind of a bad decision too. He goes duo. He doesn't have any time. Like he has one timeout, so you're not gonna burn that there. But the reward of that play is so low. Even if you get 8 yards, it's like okay, the clock's going. You're probably not gonna get out of bounds. You see, he's burnt so much time right here. Nothing there. Gets intentional grounding now. Now he's all the way backed up. Went for kind of a bomb play. I think it's just not a great route combo. I think it's a little bit predictable, especially against someone like Dcroft. Kind of drops that back. Now we get 3rd and 19 here. Dimes, he's done a good job when he's had to kind of pocket pass, at least earlier in this game, in these kind of situations. But he's backed up all the way on his own 4. This is super tough. This is a really bad spot to be in. That looper kind of screams. He's going to have to throw it underneath. Now you're in a situation of your dimes. Do you go for this? Dcroft calls that timeout. If you go for it, like maybe you're able to get points, but if you don't get it, Dcroft scores again, guaranteed with 3 at least. If you punt, right, you're kind of just giving the ball back to Dcroft. Maybe he can do something. He's got to punt. I think you punt right here, but I know some people who would go for it. He punts it deep. That punt does not go out of bounds. And watch what happens right here. Dcroft gets a punt return. Boom. Gets into open field. Oh, has to make one man miss the punter. And touchdown. And bro, it's like that right there is just a killer, man. That right there is just an absolute killer. Just like end of like one of the most unfortunate, kind of just poorly played end of halves I've seen in a game like this, where I mean, first 2-3 drives of the game, Dimes was smacking Dcroft right in the mouth. Offense kind of goes down near the end of the half, just not moving the ball very well, not getting things going your way. You got to think some of this came down to a simple thing as on that drive when it was 10-7, a mere few minutes ago, and Dimes had that tight end post route open over the middle. He missed that. He missed it with the pass lead. That led to a 4th down where he got stopped. You never know what happens there because he could have kept running the ball, which he's had success with, instead of having to pass so much. And just like that, we go into halftime, 27-7 with Dcroft and Texas Hook'em brother up, and just kind of a dominant, not even an entire first half from Dcroft, because Dcroft didn't play incredible on offense. Like, you know, he threw a couple questionable balls, got to a couple 4th downs, missed a couple passes, bad pass leads. Just led to this though, man. And we're gonna call that halftime. They always do a little pause at halftime. I think we're actually gonna see. Am I gonna get a little cameo right here? Give me a little cameo. Give me a little cameo. Dcroft putting on the chapstick, Dimes sipping the water. One thing I'm a big believer in though is late in games, if you can get it to a 2-score game, it's always like you always have the potential to come back, because 2-score game, touchdown and a fumble, touchdown and onside, something like that, right? I think 2 scores always manageable. Dimes gets ball here. He's able to go answer. We have 10 minutes left of game time, down 2 scores. It's a very, very possible thing to come back and win this game. I think like it's possible, hard, but possible. So we see Dimes on offense here. Part of it though is that he is going to have to get away from his game plan of wanting to run the ball consistently, just because we got to move the ball a little bit faster. Goes quick drag. Love that read from him, right? Some people in this situation, they start looking too far downfield. This is why I always preach throwing your underneath, especially your tight end drags. One of my favorite routes. He made a bunch of videos about this. He throws the drag, catches it at 3 yards, gains a cool 15 out of it. I love this, just bad stick. I think, like, and it's tough sometimes to make that read, just bad stick. I do love, though, these little plays that can make the game a little bit easier on yourself, like a jet touch pass, low risk, but has high reward potential. Love that. I think it's a good call. Right there goes, could have gone out route, just kind of missed the read, throws it away. I don't hate that. Right? If you don't like what you see, always be willing to throw that ball away, especially when you won't get intentional grounding. You have those routes attacking the flats pretty easily. Big fan of that. Big fan of that always. 3rd and 10. I don't love this big S post that he's running on the right side. I just don't think it's going to add a lot of value. And this was, so I'll tell you what he saw right here. And I think this was just a ball that he did not throw very often. So we have seam to the left side. Okay. Or we have slot wide receiver left right here. He puts him on a deep out route. So technically in your mind, this ball could get thrown early and get caught right here, right? Imagine you threw it super fast. But if you throw it early and the receiver, like, it is an out route. So depending on when you throw it, you could throw it while the receiver is running vertically with the intention of the receiver catching it like right here as he kind of breaks into his actual route. Dcroft vacates his left seam. I think it's like a coverage like this, something along the lines of this right here. So Dime sees this, tries hitting this ball right here, but it's a deep out route, throws it into coverage instead. Just a bit like I've done this plenty of times. This sucks. It's just like unfortunate the timing of this, right? Where he's trying to throw that in the seam. It's just this receiver. You can actually see him start to plant his foot right here, and he just throws it. If that's a seam streak, if that's an actual streak, if that's a curl, maybe even a deeper out route, it's there. I get the idea from Dimes right there. So it's like that one's just tough. That's not even a blind read. It's actually an open read. Just I think not enough familiarity with that route in college football. That might even be something you could throw in Madden early. Just can't college football. Um, so that one's just like dang. It's almost like a when it rains it pours type situation. Now Dcroft up 20, third quarter with ball. We're going to skip ahead here a little bit. We'll go to a 3rd and 2 for Dcroft now. Every first down, essentially, in my mind, the way I think of it, is another 2 minutes off the clock, or really another minute and a half, about minute 45 after the plays. So every first down, really, really big deal. He's on the edge of field goal range. I think Dcroft would go for it here just because of how big of a reward it'd be to get it. Yeah, now at the 40, he definitely will, 4th and 5. And if you're Dcroft, you want to be milking the play clock down here. 4 dimes to come back. He's kind of like, it's going to take a lot of things going wrong and the clock really being favorable for dimes. So you want to kind of take your time here. People, when they go to this trips tight end, especially in a short yard situation like we have here on 4th and 5, always going to be some route combo kind of like this. We see this in the red zone a lot. A very horizontally spaced route combo. And we'll see what Dcroft does. Yeah, that's what the route combo is. Let's see how it actually works out. Gonna have that tight end in. And that's where, like, Dimes is playing enough Dimes is playing enough defense to where he could win this game if his offense could just do really anything. Like, really anything. If his offense could do it, he'd be hooping. He'd have a chance. Motion's out. Just gotta get the ball going on offense. Tackled for a gain of 2 right there. Cam Newton fighting for the JMU. What is James Madison? What are they? I'm not sure. I don't know. We can see Dcroft's point of view here. Got that cover 2 going on the right side. Dcroft's ready for a corner route, though. A lot of people ask me, what would you... and he gets away from it. But one of the biggest things, like, know where the weaknesses are on your defense and then being willing to... being willing to switch stick and take that stuff away. That's what Dcroft does right there, even where he switch sticks onto the flat, takes away that seam wheel that I'm a big fan of. Very, very hard switch stick to predict, actually. Genuinely, really, really hard. Watch that looper coming across right here. Gets picked up. Good read. Nice little high-low on the right side. Don't love the crosser running into the comeback, but I do love the high-low with a zig underneath and the comeback attacking just so ever so slightly over top of it. Big fan of isolating the sideline. VA Dimes right here, fighting for his life. If he's able to score 7, gotta get 7. If he's able to do it, this is a ball game, in my opinion. It would take, a wild turn, but just think, if he's able to score 7, cuts it to a 13-point lead, a fumble or something, or just a stop, big deal. Out route, just barely outside that slot corner, and with the yellow pass, placement of accuracy, that means it's gonna be a little bit off the mark. That defender trailing, scary. Scary, scary. 2nd and 2, would like to see a run right here. Touch pass, don't mind it. Gotta have better stick than what we've had. Right there. Ooh, you need... Oh! Dang, if you're Dcroft, you're a little annoyed. Good stick by Dimes, though, cutting that up. Gotta go turbo. Gotta go turbo. Gotta go turbo. He's gonna go into that trips offset weak. Outside zone. Yeah, here, you just gotta, you gotta go whatever your game plan is here. You can't be trying to hurry too much. Or, you're not going for, you're just going to whatever your inside the 20 game plan is. Clock is irrelevant. You just need that 7. Go quick seam. Love that. And so that's very similar to what happened earlier. He threw a pick on, except he had him on a deep out route. I almost think that's what he's saying. He had him on a deep out route, so the ball got thrown to where that out route was cutting. Instead of right there, the curl. And, I mean, it's just little things sometimes that makes the difference. Just sometimes the littlest of little things. 1st and goal from the 3 for Mr. Dimes. Let's see. Might go touch pass right here. That's what I'm doing. Dcroft trying to shoot it. One of the ways Dcroft is stopping this, and mind you, Dimes could cut this outside. One away Dcroft stopping this touch pass. So he sees this auto motion because you can see it. Dcroft goes from this user, switches onto this guy, just tries to attack really hard down. I was talking to Dcroft about this actually last week, and that's how he told me that he stopped jet sweeps, and that's how he's actually doing it in game, right? Try to just blow it up because it's hard to go outside that guy, right? Because you think he's gonna set the edge, so you want to cut inside of him. Just it can be tough. You can beat it. It's tough to always do in real time, and Dimes hasn't been able to do that so far, really, at all. Let's go. Halfback is tired as well. Second and goal. I love what Dimes just did. Just misses it. Bad throw. I think he threw it a little too early. So there's an RPO bubble. He motions the wide receiver in and then out. So this guy should be blocking right here. This guy should be blocking. When you motion a blocker on an RPO, they become a hitch. So you motion him in and then motion him back to where he was. So he's on that hitch you get when you motion and then stems him up. Dcroft really playing for the bubble right here. Not prepared for the stemmed up hitch. And Dimes gets a little cheated right here, actually. I think. Boom. That is bad. Unfortunate. Third and goal for Dimes. He's going to go duo, cut it outside. That's that shifty ability. Touchdown. It's a 2-score game. We're fighting. Dcroft on offense. Going to start off with the duo. Cut it outside just a little bit. Big gain. And if your Dimes just miserable. And the play clock just barely is going to take it to the third as well. So Dcroft's going to let that run all the way down. All right, let's go. Second and 8. I guess we missed a play from Dcroft. He decided to snap the ball early. Not sure why. Underneath, trying to throw that post route is Dcroft. Not there. He gets hit as he throws. Again, Dimes like playing decent defense, man. That's where this is kind of crazy. Just the offense has really kind of let Dimes down, in my opinion. Drops back. Little dagger play. In route. Got it. Bad pass, but hits that in route. This is one of my favorite plays in the game. Dagger. This is a little. Someone called this a basic route. I can't remember. We had a really good comment though talking about this, and I can't remember if it was this channel or other channel. But here's a route combo. But like the route itself is called a basic, I believe. But nonetheless, this is what it looks like. So it essentially creates a little trail in the middle of the field, and able to hit that in route against the man coverage. Almost was bad though because it was almost thrown like into the dirt, which would have been not good. And now clock is ticking here for Dimes and for Dcroft. Dcroft really probably gonna go inside zone or a duo or something right here. Do not imagine he's gonna pass the ball, but maybe he does. And actually, with a little hot route, I think he is. He's gonna keep on trying to. No, he's gonna go toss. Yeah, pin pull, toss, right side, 2 pulling. I think a guard and the center pull on this. See if I'm right. Center pulls. Cuts it inside. Nothing there. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, though. Milks another 30. Just barely out of field goal range, too. If you're Dcroft, getting that 3 would feel really good because you go up 16. While 16 is a 2-possession game, it's tough, right? Got to take the sack. Throwing it away right there would be dumb. You're willing to take a 1-yard sack because it burns 30 seconds. Throwing it away right there extends the game, kills that 30-second runoff, right? So you're willing to take that sack. That's one of the big things where you don't, like when you're, a lot of time management stuff is important. Dcroft going with a wheel to the halfback to the right side. He's seeing man coverage on the right, he thinks. So that wheel route, if he's right, should get open in the top right of the field for an easy, pretty much easy one-play touchdown. Drag him back across ISO, a little mesh over the middle. I don't love the route combo unless it's man coverage. And it appears to be man. That halfback, though, gets bagged, throws it up. Should have been picked. Should have been picked right there. So Dcroft sees the man coverage. This is man right here. Or it might be match. But he sees this. He thinks this guy's just going to beat him over top. Right? One-on-one, halfback, one-on-one. Alvin Kamara, I believe this is. Over top, easy. So you can see this, and this area of the field's vacated, right? This guy's going up maybe, but this guy's going, users right here. So the read right here is one-on-one, halfback's open. Watch what happens, though, when the halfback cuts upfield some. He kind of, like, bumps or something, takes an inside track, and so he doesn't get that over-top leverage. User ends up going there, ends up being a really bad pass lead with it, too. Should have been picked. You'd like to see that get picked in the game. Would have given Dimes a little bit of life. Gets him to a 4th and 11 nonetheless, where Dcroft is out of field goal range, so he's got to convert this. Not converting this low-key starts to make this game a little scary for Dcroft. He's seeing man or match, so he's going to go one of his favorite routes, which is a corner strike, corner route on the right side. This requires a good pass lead to hit, but you see that man outside, boom, inbounds too. It's going to milk 30 seconds off. And I hate to call that the dagger, but that essentially becomes the dagger where we're going to see Dcroft actually brought a timeout right there. Now Dimes calls timeout, so we just skip ahead just a little bit. We're going to see Dcroft 1st and 10, minute 45 left. Yeah, here's that highlight of that 4th and 11 yet again. Little deep corner route, boom. And yeah, that's gonna cook the game. Dcroft is kneeling this ball out. They're gonna say GG's. And just like that, Dcroft wins a cool $10,000, all new Nissan kicks, and an honorary Nissan Heisman house key. Genuinely a really good game from them. Dime's a really great deal. I've known Dcroft forever, and I want to see. Yeah, there we go. That is me. If you look, wait, let's watch this happen. Nick Mazesko throws it down underneath. Dcroft's like 6'4", by the way. I am not 6'4". It was Reggie Bush, Eli Mack, Nick Mazesko. I went to the wrong side. I had to walk across behind it. Oh, if you guys want Dcroft's offensive defense, he's a member of Civil, or he's a part of Civil.gg. One of our coaches on the site puts out schemes all the time. This offense and defense are going live over there. Just like that, he's officially the #1 college football player in the world. Very, very cool. Very, very, very cool. And a good friend of mine too, so incredibly happy for him. That being said, boys, check that out. You use code Civil30, get a cool 30% off.